YouTube channel. I'm Lisbet, and I know the title and thumbnail are kind of like why you shouldn't date in high school. That is kind of the point of this video, but not really, because I'm still in the midst of high school. I'm entering into my junior year. I'm not like 20 years old and past high school and already lived life after high school. I'm literally in high school. So I'm not claiming to know everything because I don't, and I'm also not here to hate on any other relationship. I feel like high school relationships are super cute. I have a friend whose parents were high school sweethearts, and that's super cute to me, and I have nothing against really dating in high school, but I definitely want to talk about not necessarily the stigma, but the pressures that you get as a teenager without realizing it through social media. Because there's obviously pressures, I feel like, outside of high school. You know, once people are in college or out of college, you definitely hear more of that pressure, like, oh, I'm 25, like so many friends are getting married, and you hear about that, but I feel like you don't hear about the pressure that you get as a high school student. Not as obvious to see that pressure because it's not like people are really telling you to be in a relationship. You know, like I don't have, like my parents aren't being like, get in a relationship right now. My siblings aren't telling me that. But through social media, I feel like there's kind of like, I just want to be in a relationship, and I feel like it shows more through social media. And so I just kind of want to talk about that and what it's like being a teen, not having a boyfriend, and kind of seeing that and being in that world. I feel like at this point, it's kind of a norm to see, I guess, what you would call relationship posts. So on TikTok, you know, you see the couples, and I don't know if you guys watch TikTok, you could literally like that one song Paradise by Coldplay, I believe, and it's like dream of paradise, like that part. It'll tend to be in like a montage. It'll be either be best friends or couples. Literally, it's a trend to show off your relationship, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with showing off the relationship. Like, you know, we should be here to support each other, but also when you see so much of that and so often, I feel like as a teenager, being young and vulnerable, you can look at that and you see so many people being happy, which, like, good for them, but then you kind of I don't know how to explain it, like, it's not a subliminal message, but in that like low-key type of way, you're thinking to yourself like, oh, is that what I need to be happy? Is like, do I need to be in a relationship to be happy? Because obviously people don't post about them being single and happy. I mean, I feel like every now and then, yeah, I do see the tweets where it's like, oh, you know, like, oh, I finally found myself, or like, I don't need anybody else, which is like true and good. But I guess like what I'm trying to say is you don't see the TikToks on people showing off their adventures that they lived as single people or with their friends, because it's just normal life, you know. It's like being in a relationship is like a different life, I guess. And I feel like the one thing that really does make this like toxic, and especially to young people, because like I said, they're vulnerable, they're still learning so much, and I'm still learning so much just being in high school. So I feel like it can be really hard if you're not, you know, a lot of people say you find yourself in high school, or, you know, you don't know who you are in high school, and it could be very true for a lot of people, and a lot of people are finding themselves. They're figuring out what they like, what they don't like, and who they are, you know. So to see so much of like being in a relationship, I feel like that adds to the like, oh, well, maybe if I find a boyfriend or if I find a girlfriend, then like, you know, I can check that off, like, oh, I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like there I can be fulfilled, or there like I'm a high schooler, or there I can have the perfect relationship. And no one, you know, everyone wants to be like a picture perfect, or not, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people strive to be that picture perfect relationship. And when that's all you see on places like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, because, you know, they're not going to show the bad, it makes you think like being in a relationship is perfect and I should be in one right away. And I feel like what a lot of people tend to forget, and what a lot of people tell us but we don't really take in and really listen, is that we have the rest of our lives to live, and we should really stop putting so much pressure in high school. Because a lot of us, you know, you enter high school, you're like, what, 13, 14? I was 13 entering high school, and I'm gonna graduate at 17 because my birthday's in November, before anyone asks why. So, that's so, like, you're not even gonna be a legal adult yet. And I feel like we just forget that we're literally so young. Like, I know sometimes I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. But, I'm not. I know I'm not so old. I just, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm already a junior in high school. But that's something else. That's just like time flying. But, we have the rest of our lives to live. Like, a lot of people go to university, so you're barely going through your 4 years in high school, and then you still have university to meet so many more people. And then once you're out of university, and if you don't go to university, you meet so many more people in jobs and just like finding people through mutual friends. And there's just so much left of the world to live, like to see and to explore, that I feel like you're putting, or I'll put, or like friends of mine will put so much pressure in finding someone within like these 4 years in high school. With what, I don't know how many students my high school has, but like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, however many. Like, there's 7 billion people in this world, and obviously, like, your gender and preference, whatever, but there's 7 billion people in this world, right? And you're literally limiting yourself to this 4-year time span, and 1,000, 2,000, however, people and then not even all of them are in your grade, or like the gender that you're going for, like it just, I feel like we forget that it's kind of dumb, or not dumb, but it's just, we need to really, as teenagers, focus on ourselves. And going into high school, I didn't really want to be in a relationship to begin with. Like, right before I went into high school, my 8th grade year, I was told literally so many times, like, don't deal with guys, focus on your studies. And like, some of the best advice I ever got was that, like, just guys are dumb, like my choir teacher says, my freshman year, I'm pretty sure on like the first day of school, or like the first week of school, he was like, boys are pigs and boys lie. And I have not forgotten that. Oh my gosh, I love my choir teacher. But like, really, truly, and honestly, if I was an incoming freshman, or I'm thinking about high school, like, I feel like it's something that you need to hear at least at some point. But then not only do you need to hear it, but you really need to like think about these things, because you forget. I feel like as I've talked more, my voice will get louder because I get more passionate about what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, stop putting so much pressure on high school. Like, you have the rest of your life to live, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. You don't need to find your soulmate, or the person you're gonna marry in high school, because so many relationships don't even turn out. And I'm not saying like completely lose hope or whatever if you're in a relationship in high school, but like, being realistic, a lot of people break up because you still have so much of your life left to live, and so much to learn and to grow. And being in high school, you kind of forget that until you take a step back. Or I feel like, at least now, like being a junior, you kind of like look back, and I've been thinking like, oh, what colleges do I want to go to? Like, do I want to dorm? Do I want to go out of state? Don't want to go out of state. But like, what do I want to do with myself? And I'm not in a relationship, but I feel like if I was, like, then you'd kind of have to be like, oh, well, do I even want to be in a relationship? Because let's say I did want to go out of state, then you have to deal with long distance, and there's just so many factors that I feel like you forget. Let's say when you enter a relationship, especially being in high school, like you gotta just think about things. And I think that's something that we don't do, because we just want to be in a relationship so bad, and we want to find that love, and we want to feel that love, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to be okay with just loving ourselves. Like, we have to know that loving ourselves and having friends and family around us, like, that is enough. I feel like pretty sure that's the end of my ramble. I just kind of wanted to make a video out of this because I don't know who's gonna hear it. I know I have cousins that are entering high school or even entering middle school. I feel like this can be applied at least at my middle school. I don't know about yours. But I feel like hearing that kind of just reassures you, and I think talking about it definitely like reassures me. I've told like 3 of my friends this YouTube video idea, and have talked about it because it's something that I genuinely, like, once I realized it, I was like, oh yeah, social media definitely like adds a pressure that you don't realize because it's so normalized. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you got something out of it. If you're older and not in high school, I don't know. Cool. I feel like this is definitely directed more towards people in high school or entering high school. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you got something out of it. And until next time, peace out, homies.